The message that ended my 5-year relationship came from a woman I barely knew. Before that night, if you'd asked me who I trusted most in the world, I would have said Ryan without thinking. My name is Marilyn Voss. I was 30 years old when everything fell apart, and Ryan Hale was 27. We'd been together for 5 years, but our history went back much further. Ryan had been the only kid who showed up to one of my childhood birthday parties after half my class canceled. Years later, when I lost my job, he kept telling me I'd find something better until I finally believed him. When my father ended up in the hospital and I was drowning in overtime, Ryan drove groceries to my mother and checked on her when I couldn't. He wasn't simply my boyfriend. He felt like family. We'd even started talking about marriage, kids, a house with enough room for the ridiculous dog Ryan insisted we'd eventually adopt. Then one evening, an Instagram notification appeared. A woman named Zoe Mercer had messaged me. "I don't know how to say this, but Ryan is cheating on you. I have proof." I stared at it for almost a minute. My first thought was spam. My second was that someone hated Ryan enough to manufacture drama. I replied, "Who are you?" Her answer came quickly. She said she knew a woman named Lena Carter. Ryan had apparently been seeing Lena behind my back. Then Zoe added the sentence that made my stomach tighten. "Lena is pregnant. Ryan knows the baby could be his. Pregnant." I actually laughed when I read it, not because it was funny, because sometimes your brain rejects something before your heart even understands it. Ryan cheating on me already sounded impossible. Ryan getting another woman pregnant sounded absurd. I asked Zoe why she was involving herself. She said she knew Lena and had seen enough messages to realize what was happening. That explanation didn't satisfy me. "What's your angle?" I typed. Her response was blunt. "Ryan is playing you. Lena isn't innocent either. You deserve to know." Then the screenshots arrived. The first few could have almost been explained away. Inside jokes, late-night messages, compliments. Then I kept scrolling. There was nothing innocent about the rest. Plans to meet when I was working. Messages about hotels. Explicit conversations I wish I could erase from my memory. One message from Ryan read, "Marilyn thinks I'm staying late tomorrow. Same place?" My hands went cold. I still wanted an escape. Screenshots could be manipulated. So I told Zoe I needed something harder to fake. She sent a video. Lena was sitting with several friends, laughing as someone filmed her. I heard Ryan's name. Then Lena joked about how complicated everything had become because she was pregnant, and Ryan wasn't sure what he was going to do. I watched it twice. The second time hurt worse. Zoe told me the affair hadn't started recently. It had been going on for nearly 2 years. 2 years. While Ryan held my hand at my father's hospital bed. While he discussed engagement rings. While we argued over future baby names. While he kissed me goodnight and asked what I wanted for breakfast. There had been another woman. I saved everything. Screenshots, video. Every message Zoe sent explaining what she knew. I still didn't completely trust Zoe's motives, but motives no longer mattered. The evidence did. Ryan was visiting his parents that afternoon, which gave me several hours alone. I found his duffel bag, then another suitcase. Shirts, shoes, toiletries, the watch I'd bought him for Christmas. I packed everything he kept at my house and loaded it into my trunk. When Ryan returned that evening, he walked through the door smiling. "There you are." He kissed my cheek. I almost flinched. Then his face brightened. "I actually have something huge to tell you." "What?" He hesitated. "Can we sit down first?" I grabbed my keys. "Actually, we should go somewhere." "Where?" "Just come with me." He studied my face but eventually followed me outside. Only when I turned onto the street leading toward his parents' house did his expression change. "Marilyn?" I kept driving. "Why are we going to Mom's?" "We'll talk inside." He asked again. I didn't answer. His mother looked surprised when we walked through the door. "Well, this is unexpected." Ryan glanced at me. "Marilyn, what's going on?" I turned toward him. "I know." His face tightened. "Know what?" Lena, the hotels, the messages, the pregnancy. His mother slowly lowered her phone. Who's Lena? Ryan went completely still. Marilyn, whatever you've heard. I unlocked my phone. Don't. I opened the screenshots. His eyes landed on the first one. All the color disappeared from his face. His mother stepped beside me and began reading. Ryan? Mom, it's complicated. Is this real? He didn't answer. I opened the video. Lena's voice filled the room. His mother stared at him. Is there a chance that baby is yours? Ryan lowered his eyes. Yes. I felt something inside me go completely still. His mother looked horrified. How long? Ryan remained silent. I answered for him. Almost 2 years. 2 years. It wasn't supposed to happen like this, Ryan said. I laughed once. Dry, empty. You don't accidentally have a 2-year affair. He stepped toward me. Marilyn, please, I love you. No. You love knowing I'll always be here. That isn't true. You planned a future with me while sleeping with her. He started crying. I'll fix it. How? I'll end everything with Lena. I stared at him. And your baby? His hesitation told me everything. Then he said something that made even his mother recoil. If staying involved with the baby means losing you, then maybe I don't have to be involved. His mother snapped. Ryan! I looked at the man I'd once wanted children with and suddenly felt almost nothing. You think abandoning your own child makes this better? I don't know what else to do. That, I said quietly, is exactly the problem. I walked outside, opened my trunk, and carried his bags to the porch. Ryan followed me. Marilyn, please don't do this. I dropped the last bag beside him. You already did. His mother stepped outside. Maybe everybody should calm down and talk tomorrow. There isn't anything left to discuss. Ryan reached for my arm. I moved away. We're done. His face crumpled. 5 years, Marilyn? I looked at him. No. Apparently we only had 3. Then I left. That night, I sat in my driveway long after I got home. The house looked exactly the same. That was almost offensive. Inside, the couch where we'd watched terrible movies was still there. His coffee mug was still beside the sink. A photograph of us still sat on a shelf. But nothing belonged to the same life anymore. By morning, Ryan had sent 23 messages. Apologies, explanations, promises to do anything. I blocked him. He moved to social media, then email. I ignored everything. My closest friend, Chloe, showed up that evening carrying snacks and enough anger for both of us. 2 years, she shouted when I finished explaining. I nodded. And you had no clue? Apparently, I'm an idiot. No, Chloe said immediately. Apparently he's good at lying. That distinction mattered more than I expected. The next day, I told my mother. She adored Ryan. When I showed her the messages, she stared silently at my phone. He cheated on you? Yes. Her expression changed from disbelief to sadness. I thought that boy was family. So did I. But the worst betrayal wasn't Ryan. That came weeks later. A mutual friend named Sam mentioned he'd always thought Ryan and Lena had too much chemistry. I stared at him. You knew. I didn't know. I saw them getting close once, but I didn't want to start drama. 2 other mutual friends eventually admitted they'd heard rumors too. None of them told me. If Zoe hadn't messaged me, I might have stayed with Ryan, believing whatever explanation he eventually invented. So I cut those friendships off too. For months, my world became smaller, but eventually it became quieter, and then stronger. A full year passed. I started believing Ryan Hale was finally behind me. Then one afternoon, my phone lit up with a message from an unfamiliar account. Only 4 words appeared. Marilyn, can we talk? It was Ryan. And this time, he wasn't coming back just to apologize. He needed something from me. And it had everything to do with Lena's baby. A year can make someone feel like a stranger. When Ryan's message appeared, I didn't feel the punch in my stomach. I would have felt months earlier. I just felt annoyed. Marilyn, can we talk? I blocked the account. Whatever apology he'd spent a year rehearsing, I didn't need it. By then, my life had finally stopped revolving around what he'd done. I'd thrown myself into work, rebuilt my social circle, and learned that losing people wasn't always the same thing as being alone. Chloe was still around, along with the handful of friends who had actually earned my trust. I'd even gone on a few dates. Nothing serious, but enough to remind myself that Ryan wasn't the last man on earth. 3 days after the message, my doorbell camera alerted me while I was making dinner. Someone was standing on my porch. Ryan. For a second, I barely recognized him. He looked thinner. His hair was longer and messy, and the confident man I remembered seemed to have disappeared. I didn't open the door. Instead, I activated the speaker. "What do you want, Ryan?" He looked directly into the camera. "Marilyn, you have 30 seconds. Please let me inside." "No." His shoulders dropped. "I just need to talk to you." "Then talk." He glanced toward the street. Then he said her name. "Lena's gone." I didn't respond. "She left a few months after the baby was born. At first she said she needed space. Then she stopped answering. Last I heard, she's living with someone in another state." "What does that have to do with me?" "My parents helped at first, but they're exhausted. I can't afford enough childcare, and I don't even know where Lena is." And suddenly, I understood why he'd come to me. "No." Ryan blinked. "I haven't even asked you anything." "You don't have to." "Marilyn, I don't have anyone else." There it was. Not, "I miss you." Not, "I still love you." Not even, "I'm sorry. I don't have anyone else." "So I'm the last option." "That isn't what I meant." "Then what do you mean?" Ryan looked down. "We used to talk about having kids." I stared at him. "You would have been an amazing mother." For several seconds I couldn't speak. "You came to my house to tell me I'd make a good mother to Lena's child? That's not how I meant it." "Then put it another way." He couldn't. Finally, his voice dropped. "I need help, Marilyn. I thought maybe we could start talking again. Slowly. Maybe you could meet him eventually." There was the real request. He didn't just need money. He wanted his old life back. Except now, it came with the child he'd created while betraying me. "You want me to help raise him?" Ryan said nothing. "You actually came here hoping I'd become his mother." "I wouldn't put it like that." "You don't have to. I just did." His eyes filled. "I know what I did was horrible. But the baby didn't do anything wrong. And neither did I." That stopped him. "You lied to me for 2 years. When I caught you, you offered to abandon this same child because you thought it might keep me. Now Lena abandoned you, and suddenly you're back here." I was panicking. "You're panicking now. That's not fair." "No, Ryan. What's unfair is showing up at the home of the woman you betrayed and asking her to clean up the life you chose instead." He started crying. "A year earlier, that would have broken me. Now it only made me tired. Please, I don't know what to do." "You figure it out." "Marilyn, you're his father. Start acting like one." Then I told him to leave. He stood there another minute, apparently hoping I'd change my mind. I didn't. Eventually, he walked back to his car. For the rest of that evening, one sentence stayed with me. "I don't have anyone else." Ryan hadn't returned because he'd finally understood what he'd done. He'd returned because everyone else had stopped rescuing him. The first message from one of his friends arrived the next morning. "Ryan's struggling. Would it kill you to help him a little?" Another followed that afternoon. "Whatever happened between you two, there's an innocent child involved." I ignored both. Within days, pleading became insults. Heartless, bitter, selfish. Then fake accounts started appearing beneath my photos, and eventually on my professional profile. One comment appeared beneath a post about a project I'd completed at work. "Maybe ask Marilyn why she abandoned a single father and his baby." That was when I stopped ignoring it. I started documenting everything: screenshots, usernames, voicemails, dates. Chloe told me to contact a lawyer. It's probably just noise, I said. Noise doesn't usually follow you to your workplace. She was right. So I created a folder. A week later, an unknown number called while I was sitting at my desk. I answered. Marilyn Voss? Yes. The man introduced himself as an attorney representing Ryan Hale. I sat straighter. What does Ryan want? Mr. Hale asked me to contact you regarding a possible financial resolution. I frowned. Financial resolution for what? He claims he made financial decisions during your relationship based on promises about your future together. I stared at the wall. We weren't married. I understand. I'm simply communicating his position. And what exactly does he expect? He's under significant financial strain and wants to discuss what he considers unfinished matters from your relationship. There it was. Carefully worded. No claim that I owed child support. No claim that I was somehow responsible for his son. Just Ryan searching for another way to make his problems mine. The attorney asked if I'd be willing to meet. My first instinct was to hang up. Then I looked at the folder sitting in my desk drawer. All right. We arranged a meeting for 2 days later. The lawyer's office was downtown, all glass walls and neutral furniture. He greeted me politely. For the first several minutes, he explained Ryan's position. Ryan claimed he'd structured parts of his finances around the future we'd discussed. Now, with childcare expenses and Lena gone, he wanted to explore whether some kind of settlement could resolve what he considered unfinished issues from our relationship. I let the lawyer finish. Then I placed my folder on the table. I think Ryan left out some details. I opened it. Screenshots of the affair, hotel plans, messages about Lena's pregnancy, then the harassment that started after I refused Ryan. The lawyer stopped taking notes. I wasn't aware of these. I assumed you weren't. He read several pages in silence. Then he looked up. There is another issue Mr. Hale raised. What issue? He hesitated. He described your relationship as emotionally abusive. For a moment, I thought I'd heard him wrong. Excuse me? He claims certain dynamics during the relationship left him emotionally and financially dependent on you. I stared at him. Then I laughed. Apparently, Ryan had finally run out of truths that could help him. So he'd started manufacturing new ones. He cheated on me for 2 years. The lawyer said nothing. He got another woman pregnant. I discovered it, packed his belongings, and ended the relationship. I leaned forward. If Ryan wants to call that abuse because I refused to keep supporting him after he betrayed me, he's welcome to explain that argument somewhere with a record. The lawyer shifted slightly. I'm only communicating my client's position. Then communicate mine. I closed the folder. If Ryan contacts me again, if his friends continue harassing me, or if false claims about me appear anywhere connected to my work, I'll take legal action. I stood. This ends now. The lawyer nodded. I'll speak with him. I picked up my folder. I should have walked out feeling victorious. Instead, I was furious. Ryan hadn't just returned asking me to rescue him. When I said no, he'd tried to turn my refusal into cruelty. And somewhere between that office and the parking garage, I made a mistake. I pulled out my phone. For the first time in a year, I called Ryan myself. He answered almost immediately. Marilyn? I gripped the phone tighter. What the hell did you tell your lawyer? What the hell did you tell your lawyer? Ryan went silent. Then I heard him exhale. Marilyn, I can explain. Good. Explain why your lawyer thinks I emotionally abused you. I didn't say it like that. Then how did you say it? I told him things were complicated between us. Complicated? I leaned against my car. You cheated on me for 2 years, got Lena pregnant, and when she disappeared, you came back asking me to help raise your son. I said no. What part of that makes you my victim? That's not what I meant. You keep saying that whenever the truth sounds ugly out loud. He went quiet. Did you send your friends after me? No. Did you tell them I abandoned you? I told a few people you wouldn't help. I laughed. There it is. I didn't tell them to harass you, but you didn't stop them either. Silence. Then his voice changed. The defensiveness disappeared. I'm drowning, Marilyn. I closed my eyes. My parents barely speak to me anymore. Daycare is killing me. I've missed work. I'm behind on bills. Lena's gone. And somehow you decided I should be part of the solution. I didn't know who else to ask. That sentence again. A year ago, hearing Ryan sound broken would have made me want to rescue him. Now I finally understood something. Ryan didn't necessarily miss me. He missed what I had done for him. The stability, the planning, the person who remembered bills, appointments, groceries, birthdays, the woman who made chaos feel manageable. He had confused being loved with being carried. And when Lena disappeared, he came looking for the person who used to carry him best. You want to know the saddest part? I asked. What? If you'd shown up at my door and simply apologized, I might have eventually forgiven you. He inhaled sharply. Not taken you back, not helped raise your child, but forgiven you. Marilyn. But you didn't come back because you understood what you did. You came back because you needed something. I am sorry. Then you should have left me alone. He went silent. Instead, you came to my house. Your friends started attacking me. Then your lawyer called. And when none of that worked, suddenly, I'm emotionally abusive. I told you, that's not what. Stop. He did. If I receive another message from you, another message from one of your friends, or another public accusation, I'm not arguing anymore. I'm documenting it and letting attorneys handle it. His voice dropped. You'd really do that to me? That almost made me laugh. Even now, consequences were something I was supposedly doing. To him. Yes. A long silence followed. Then Ryan whispered. I really screwed everything up. For the first time during the call, he sounded honest. Yes. I thought Lena was what I wanted. I said nothing. She was exciting. Everything felt different. And I was what? He hesitated. You were safe. There it was. Maybe once that would have hurt. Now it didn't. Safe isn't the consolation prize you think it is, Ryan. I know that now. I looked down at the folder under my arm. You have a son who needs you. Find Lena through the proper channels. Repair things with your parents if they'll let you. Get your finances under control. I paused. But do it without me. His voice became almost inaudible. Is there really no chance? No. Ever? I thought about 5 years together. The birthday party when we were kids. My father's hospital room. The future we'd planned. Then I thought about Lena. The hotels. The lies. And the little boy who hadn't asked to be born into any of it. No, Ryan. He started crying. This time I didn't interrupt. Eventually he said, I'm sorry. I hope one day you're sorry because you understand what you did. Not because your life got harder afterward. Then I ended the call. My hands were shaking. But I didn't call him back. 3 days passed without a message. Then 4. Then 5. No fake accounts appeared. No comments showed up under my work posts. For the first time since Ryan had returned, there was silence. A formal letter arrived from his attorney the following week. It was brief. Ryan would not pursue any claim against me. Future communication, if necessary, would go through counsel. The attorney also acknowledged my complaints about the unwanted contact and confirmed that Ryan had been advised not to contact me directly. I read the letter twice, then I put it in the folder. I didn't feel triumphant, just relieved. Later, I heard through a mutual acquaintance that Ryan had moved closer to an aunt who'd agreed to help temporarily while he stabilized his finances. He was also pursuing Lena through the appropriate legal process. I didn't ask for details. The child wasn't responsible for what his parents had done, and I genuinely hoped Ryan became the father that little boy deserved. I just wasn't going to become his mother. The harder part was learning how to trust people again. Ryan hadn't only broken my trust in him. For a while, he'd made me suspicious of everyone who came after him. If someone worked late, I wondered why. If a text went unanswered, my mind filled in the blanks. I hated living that way. So I stopped forcing myself to date. I focused on work. I went to the gym. I spent time with Chloe and the people who had actually shown up when my life collapsed. Slowly, ordinary things started feeling ordinary again. Then one Friday evening, Chloe invited me to a small party. No setups, she promised. I don't believe you. Fine, 90% no setups. I went. That's where I met Daniel. He wasn't flashy or determined to impress me. We just talked about the terrible music Chloe had chosen, work, travel, nothing important, and somehow 2 hours disappeared. When Daniel asked for my number, I hesitated. He noticed. No pressure, he said. If you'd rather not, that's okay. Strangely, that was what made me give it to him. We had coffee the following week. Nothing dramatic happened, and that was exactly what I needed. I wasn't looking for someone to repair what Ryan had broken. I was simply learning that being open to someone new didn't mean ignoring what the past had taught me. Sometimes I still think about Zoe's first message. One random notification changed the direction of my entire life. For a long time, I thought discovering Ryan's affair was the worst thing that could have happened. Now, I know the worst thing would have been never discovering it. I could have married him. I could have spent years trusting someone simply because we'd known each other since childhood. Ryan taught me that history doesn't guarantee loyalty, and everything that happened afterward taught me something even more important. Compassion doesn't create responsibility. I could feel sorry for his son without becoming his mother. I could hope Ryan changed without giving him another chance. Walking away didn't make me cruel. It simply meant I was finally refusing to let someone else's choices decide what happened to my life. Ryan chose Lena. Lena chose to leave. Ryan's friends chose to blame me. And finally, I made my own choice. I chose myself.